Commendatore! Welcome back to The Sopranos Prima Volta. Here we are, yours truly, Sam Roberts. Ian Fidance is here, of course, and you know how we do here at the Prima Volta. It's Ian Fidance's first time watching The Sopranos. It's my 1000th time watching The Sopranos, and, well, we've got to break it all down, and from your fresh perspective, you have one of those Sopranos brains that's only now just starting to develop wrinkles.
Yes.
You know, it's very, very smooth when we first started the show. We're now exactly halfway through season 3, and season 3, certainly a pinnacle season when it comes to character development and show development. We're already seeing that, of course, when season 3 started, it was like, where is this show going without Livia?
How can it get better than what it is? You know, and we're seeing character development in the show, and we're seeing character development within myself.
Yes, well, you're slowly becoming
a soprano.
Yeah, I mean, I thought 2 weeks ago, finding out that you had actually told a fan a heckler, not a fan, a heckler in the audience, Fugazi.
Yes.
In the audience.
I'm the motherfucking fucking one.
I was like, okay, that's your, being a comedian is your job.
Yeah.
And Tony is becoming
my life.
Right, that person. I don't think Tony could cut it as a stand-up.
No. I mean, Tony is very funny. I mean, dude, he tells that great joke. He goes, it's cold in Mexico. And he goes, yeah, it's chilly today, hot tamale.
That's a good joke.
That's a great joke.
It's a classic joke.
I mean, Tony, you're great.
Right. But I don't know the instant feedback. You know, Tony doesn't generally do well with naysayers.
No, and I can imagine he gets a heckler and just shoots them. You know,
I'd say that's probably right. How are things with you and Carmaid?
Let me tell you, okay, speaking of being a soprano, you know, we always have little surprises and fun things on the show, and we just celebrated Christmas.
Yes.
And what did my beautiful Carmela, the love of my life, mi amor, Madonna me, what did she get me?
I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe this Italian gold chain? What are you thinking at, huh?
Like, people need to understand, this is not like a bit or a gimmick.
No.
It's a lifestyle choice.
This is real life. This is what's happening. And I grew up Italian, very, Delaware Italian. My grandparents were first generation.
It just really sparkles.
It does. Look at this thing. It is amazing. And dude, oh my God, look at it this way.
By the way, Delaware Italian is the best thing I've ever heard.
I mean, you can wear it like this.
Oh, even better. It actually looks classier that way.
I'm wearing it over my t-shirts.
Yeah.
And also, Sam, I gotta say, you've become a dear friend of mine. And what do dear friends do at Christmas? You know, you're not just a friend of mine, you're a friend of ours.
No.
So I got you a gift too.
No.
Yeah. You know what?
No, Whitman.
I got a Whitman's.
Of course, a Whitman sampler, like you would give a friend in a coma. Yeah. Who's gonna eat these? There you go. Now
they're mine for me to eat.
now, as much as you want to think that you are Tony, this is very Pauly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like maybe you're a little more Pauly.
I'm finding out that I am, a robust cast of characters from this show. I'm very much, I can be a Tony. I have the drug addictions of Chris. I like to be a little Pauly sometimes.
Sure.
Even though my opinion of him is changing. And,
that's what we got to get into.
And I feel I have the love and devotion for my wife of Bobby. Because I would be the one guy in the crew that does not have a Gumar. I am not a Gumar guy.
I see. There's no Ralphie in you.
No. Well, there's a little Ralphie in me. I can fly off the handle.
And you love Gladiator.
And I love jokes. Yeah. I love being a guy that breaks the tension.
Right.
And I'm a bit Vito because I love eating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get that. And there are still people unsure about your origins. The same way with Vito. It's a little mysterious.
Yeah,
what was he doing?
Where's he
What's
come
that?
from? Is he Delaware Italian? We don't know. we don't know.
We don't. But let's get into, okay, so when we last left, we had several arguments the last couple weeks.
Yes.
It's getting tense in here. It's getting hot in here. But sometimes when you have a sit down, which is what this is, it's a sit down every single week.
Sit down, yeah.
You know, it gets tense. You thought after episode 6, I believe.
Yes.
Well, I don't remember which episode it was that Christopher got made, but it was in that last set of episodes that we talked about. It could have been episode 6.
Yes, the one where Christopher got made and you refused to get made. Go ahead.
Well, when you
just to let you know, next episode I'm bringing a sharp instrument and a playing card.
I'm not getting made on the show.
Making each other.
It feels too risky.
Why?
Because you're making a mockery of the mafia's oath.
That's the most despicable thing you could ever say. I would not mock the mafia. I am honoring their tradition.
Plus, let's be honest. I mean, you might be Tony, but I'm a little AJ. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you want to make me.
Yeah. I don't want this life for you.
Exactly.
Sam.
Exactly.
But I want the bonding of experience of us in the process. So let's.
I feel like, you know who I am? I'm Jackie Jr., but not Jackie. I'm the Jackie Jr. that Tony wants. I'm the guy who you could trust with your daughter.
Yes.
I'm the guy who's going to stay out of the life,
but
can be close to it without being tempted.
What I've seen from Jackie, don't ever say that about yourself again.
Okay, well,
I'll go back to you being AJ, and I won't make you, but let's split the difference for a bonding experience.
You know who I am?
We're playing Nintendo.
Yeah.
Nintendo
That's 64. Yeah. I think, you know who I honestly think I am?
Who?
Meadow.
Wow.
I think Meadow.
Because you're attractive, smart, and you got the world is your oyster.
And you should have seen the way I looked in a bikini right when I was in college. Not now, but when I was in college, I mean, traipsing around the house in my little orange 2-piece.
Wow.
Yeah, I was a looker.
God.
I was a looker. So let's get into this,
Let's
okay?
do it.
Because when we last left, you said that when Paulie gave Christopher the betting business, I said that was manipulative and Paulie pretending to be looking out for Christopher's best interest, but really just trying to make a profit. And you said, no, you believe Paulie was trying to be a great mentor.
Yes.
Episode 7, it's called Second Opinion. And let's get right into what's going on with Paulie and Christopher. Not only is Paulie looking for a piece of everything Christopher has, let me ask you something, Ian. If you thought I was your mentor, right?
Let me tell you right now, it's called Second Opinion because I now have a second opinion about Paulie.
How would you feel? Oh,
boy.
If you saw me in your house sniffing your Carmela's underpants.
I don't care if you're made. I don't care if you're not. I don't care if you want hours. You don't do that.
Now, I mean, to be fair, you would probably not overestimate Carmela's shoe size the way Christopher did to Adriana.
No, what the fuck is that?
Funny.
I love Adriana so much. And also, good God all fucking mighty, I love that they smoke in the house.
Yeah.
That is the best.
But yeah, I mean, look.
That was despicable. That angered me so much to see Paulie sniff her underwear because Paulie, to me, has been this innocent, sweet, fun. Yeah, he's a killer, but he's a fun killer. And I'm really seeing a side of him that I don't like.
I mean, he's a self-interested scumbag from day one and is so...
From day one? How day one?
I mean, he didn't understand that everybody... He's so narcissistic that he didn't get that everybody in Italy thought he was an asshole. Everyone. That's why...
Narcissistic. I thought he was optimistic. I thought he was excited.
He's self-obsessed.
I don't like hearing it.
Well, look, I mean, how about the fact that he goes in and he makes Christopher strip just because he can? It's a power move.
And then he goes fun of his penis.
I guess you could call that a dick. It's a funny line.
It's a very funny line. Very funny. But the turn Paulie is taking is disgusting me. And I'm having a hard time watching the show sometimes because the onion has been peeled and it's not blooming. This ain't no bloomin' onion. This onion is making me cry.
There's no Outback Steakhouse anymore. We're
No.
at the Olive Garden where you don't peel the onion.
No.
That's
you're
what they
at the
say, right?
Olive Garden.
Where here you're always family and we don't peel onion.
Don't peel the onion. No, we look at the onion from the outside and you don't get too close because you might not like what it makes you do, which is cry.
Now, Christopher also, he complained
Mhm.
to Tony about Paulie.
Right.
Was that the right move on Christopher's part?
I mean, Christopher and Tony have a weird relationship because there's this familial thing, there's this surrogate son and father thing. Also, there's their business relationship, the family relationship. At what point do you confide in Tony as a true mentor and member of your own family? Or do you always treat him as if he's this deity in your line of business?
But isn't there also a thing where it's like, you can't, regardless of whether he's your family or not,
Mhm.
you got to pick your battles. You can't whine to the big boss about everything.
Right.
And maybe you would say, well, he sniffed his fiance or his girlfriend's panties. I don't know if they're, I don't remember.
Here,
But it's like, you know how many times you've complained to Tony. You know you've complained about a lot. Maybe this is the time where you're like, you know what? I'm made now. I got to handle this on my own. Was Paulie's behavior appropriate? No. However, it's time for me to step up and not go complain to daddy every single time something goes wrong. Because you know what happens? When my little kid comes to me and he goes, oh, my sister did this, I go, hey, to the sister, don't do that. And then to the son, don't tattle on her every time she does something. Take care of it yourself.
That's a good point.
Commendatore.
Commendatore. And to that way of rearing a child, salute. Salute. And my thing is, okay, you're a maid guy now. Paulie's maid. You can't hit him. What is the rule on spitting in someone's face?
You don't want to spit in somebody's face. I mean, technically, when you look at the law, which obviously the mafia wouldn't look at the law, they kind of break it. But you can get charged with assault for spitting in someone's face.
That's because this world is fucking soft. And fucking people start shit and then they go, you hit me, that's assault.
Right. No, that's
Fuck
true.
you.
That's true.
Dude, one time this guy at the cellar fucking tried to barge in. I go, hey man, you can't get in here. And he goes, put your hand on me again and my father will sue the shit out of you.
He said that like for serious?
I was like, motherfucker, you are such a bitch-made pussy. If we went outside right now, I would beat the piss out of you so hard you wouldn't be able to fucking talk to your father. Right. You fucking snitch pussy.
You'd be looking like Bevilacqua going, Mommy!
And this is before I got some Tony Soprano in.
Ooh.
This was just being a dirty Delaware doozy. This wasn't the Delaware Italian.
No.
This
was just straight Delaware.
Straight Delaware. Matter of fact, I just gotta say, this past weekend there was some, I'm not gonna get into details, but there's some drama at an IHOP with the waitress. I found some things out and I stormed into the kitchen.
No.
And yelled, who the fuck do you think you are?
Ian, customers aren't supposed to go into the kitchen?
Well, waitresses aren't supposed to get involved in customers' personal lives. I'll tell you that much.
I mean, I guess that's true, but like, it seems like you only elevated the situation.
Well, I didn't really have a game plan. Once it came out of my mouth, I thought, what are you doing? Because I didn't realize that most of the kitchen staff at IHOPs are probably most likely felons.
Yeah.
And that really became apparent when the man came out from behind the stove and really took over the situation.
And you became the kid going, my father will sue you.
I became Bevilacqua. I was just mommying it up. Woo!
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah.
That'll happen. You want to stay out of trouble in the IHOP.
Yeah,
That's
but you know what? You gotta stand up for what's right.
Okay, so, but wait, I mean, you also have to know this thing of ours has rules, right? And that you do have to eat shit. And it isn't the sort of new age workers' rights environment, right? It is this place where tradition is really valued. And even if it's not fair, sometimes you got to eat shit. And
sometimes you got to take it on the chin.
Exactly.
But sniffing your girlfriend, fiance's fucking panties is over the line. And you got to confront him about it. Hey, what are you doing over here, huh?
You got to confront him, but you have to tell the boss.
About the panty sniffing?
Yeah, about the panty sniffing.
No,
isn't that personal?
personal business is between us.
Right.
Business involve the boss.
Right.
Take care of it yourself.
Right.
Between him and Paulie. Go to Tony about Paulie wanting kick-ups and riding him too hard.
Yes. But at what point, like the minute he starts riding him, do you go and complain? Do you, I mean, what is it? Maybe 1 kick-up, 2 kick-ups, and he's already complaining?
No,
Isn't this the type of thing that like 6 months in, you go, Tony, I'm real happy about the thing, but you know.
Well, here's the thing. Consider the source. I legit thought Paulie was helping Chrissy out.
Yeah, it's true.
They're buds in the family.
You're betrayed.
You know, and then now I'm finding out Paulie has, you know, different motives.
Well,
and it's hard to accept.
But Paulie's not worse than anybody else.
But Paulie's my favorite. He's supposed to be just the fun, chummy guy.
No, he's like, I mean, the actor, I mean, he's a gangster.
Yeah.
You know?
But he's like a fun gangster.
No, he's fun, except when he's being a gangster.
But he's a gangster to the people that deserve it, not the people that are in your family.
You gotta, like, get this out of your head, this whole, like, deserved it, didn't deserve it thing. Like, this whole semblance of justice and fairness.
You gotta get it in your head. My idea of the mafia is that they're all friends, and every time they eat, it's like a big sleepover, and the parents are out of town, and they're all best buddies, and you don't do that to a best buddy.
Well, let's talk about what to do about a best buddy's widow. When Tony sees Angie Bompacero, Pussy's wife, and Tony doesn't see her. First, Carmela sees her in the grocery store.
Yeah.
And she's complaining because she's getting by, but not enough to give the poodle an operation. Now, let's start with Carmela here. I do not think, because we see also throughout this episode that you know, with Carmela going to the therapist, and the therapist finally,
that was gnarly.
Somebody confronting Carmela, because when the therapist calls it blood money, I'm not going to take your blood money.
He wouldn't take the blood money. Oh my God. I mean, you know it's serious when a Jew won't take money.
Yeah. And
that was gnarly.
That's Carmela being confronted with real reality.
Yes.
Like that's a professional that Carmela respects going, no, like, I mean, almost like, I don't even understand why we're having this conversation. How do you not get the reality of what you do? And that's the thing. And that's what I've been saying about Carmela, that she does not exist in this world of reality, that she wants to have this sort of warped sense of morality. And her entire foundation gets crushed when this person who's actually from the normie world, respected normie world, goes, no, I mean, what you do is completely immoral, and I don't want any part of it. It's soul-crushing to Carmela.
It is, and it goes along that thing of, like, ignorance is bliss. And Carmela, you know, we're kind of getting to the point where her ignorance is almost a choice. And anytime something comes up, she just la 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 la, you know. And I mean, that guy saying, now from here on forward, you cannot ever say someone didn't tell you.
Yes,
and knowing that is, oh my God, that is like a belly full of beer and a head full of AA.
Right, because
that is
the minute that the therapist tells her that, she has now lost the option of saying she's not making a choice. The minute he says that, now, Carmela, you are officially making a choice to live the lifestyle that you live, and that's not a choice that that's a choice that she made, but that's not a choice that she ever wanted to admit to making. I think while this is going on, she sees Pussy's widow in the grocery store, and she's not only confronted with the idea of this is her life, but now the insecurity of what's going on with Tony. Two things. Number one, Pussy's disappearance, right?
Yeah.
Because she's like, oh, Pussy went into witness protection or whatever she's convinced herself of. She knows. She knows. There's only one thing that could have happened. She knows. And the idea that Tony one day could disappear and that her lifestyle will go away with it because Angie is now living a completely different lifestyle.
That's interesting that you use the word lifestyle because I feel like Carm because she's given everything and her brain can be neuralized like in Men in Black with a fur coat or a nice ring, you know.
A sapphire.
Yeah. She gets a thing and she's like, oh, never mind. You know, that's the thing. It's like, wow, she is addicted in a way to this lifestyle that insulates her from everything. And that's her self-serving thing is like, I have to protect this lifestyle, not the sanctity of my marriage, not my family, this lifestyle that I'm used to.
Yes.
And that's what starts to freak her out. I didn't realize that until you just said it, because in my mind, I'm like, she wants the family to be taken care of.
No, she wants the house. She wants the coats. Wow. She wants the jewelry. And she's not admitting it to herself necessarily.
She wants that jewelry.
She wants the jewelry. She wants a big house on the top of the hill. She wants that Ric Flair Nature Boy lifestyle. And that doesn't happen if Tony goes away because it's all cash. It's not savings bonds. It's not real estate deals. She can't do anything because they'll go like this. Where'd the money for that come from?
So wait, you can't, cash isn't good?
Cash, you can't possibly, like...
Because I keep a lot of cash.
No, you're supposed to have investment. You want to leave your family with investments that will continue to grow.
Yeah, but if
not a bunch of cash that you can't explain to the FBI. And by the way...
Oh, I can explain. I'm talking about for me. Because I like to stack my money and then pretend it's a cell phone. I like to do that.
Well, and if you post it too, it lets people know that you're doing very well professionally. You know, you're doing very well financially.
I want a boomerang of me laying in my bed throwing all my money in the air.
But when I say cash, I say that to mean that she lives a lifestyle that is not guaranteed for tomorrow. The reason I say cash is because that all the nice things that she is buying, they can afford today because Tony got an envelope today. But the minute that Tony disappears, the envelopes stop coming in, which means it's not like, oh, well, those are all, we were buying that with interest that's on the account that, no, you were buying that with an envelope that Tony got yesterday. Those envelopes don't come in. She's finding out the hard way from Angie that Angie's not getting those envelopes anymore. And when the envelopes stop coming in, you can't get surgery for your poodle. And there's no big intimidating guy to go to the vet and say, whether we're paying for this or not, you're going to take care of our poodle. Carmela won't have that power anymore.
I never thought of this before, but the Sopranos don't have a pet.
No, they don't.
I don't really trust people that grow up without pets. Did you grow up with a pet?
I've always had dogs.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But you know what makes me not trust people?
What?
Being in the mafia.
Stop it, Sam. Wouldn't that make you more trustworthy?
Absolutely not. No. They lie all the time.
But they have an oath. Can't you trust people to take oaths?
All they do is lie. Not the cops. The mafia lie all the time. I've seen it on the show. All the characters on the show, they lie to their loved ones. They lie to themselves.
I'm talking about real life mafia. These are good guys, okay?
So, and it goes back to the physical representation of wealth. When Tony shows up to Angie's house and there's a Cadillac parked in the driveway and he starts smashing the Cadillac and he's furious with Angie. Not only that she has this Cadillac and is complaining about
she
money.
Lied about the dog.
And
dog don't seem sick.
No, dog doesn't seem sick. And that she complained to Tony's wife as if it's a thing. But to me, Tony...
Are you saying that's a wrong thing?
I don't think Tony was mad at Angie at all.
You think he was mad at Carm?
No.
What?
He's mad at Pussy still. I believe that is all still pent-up feelings about Pussy and how Pussy betrayed him and how Pussy put him in this position. That is the one of all the people that Tony's killed and done horrible things to. Tony doesn't spend any time thinking about the sporting goods store. He destroyed the man's life. He doesn't think about that. He doesn't spend any time thinking about Bevilacqua. He doesn't spend any time thinking about any of these people. But Pussy was his brother. And because in his mind, because of a decision that Pussy made, he put Tony in a situation that Tony never wanted to be in. I believe that when he's smashing Angie's car, he's picturing Pussy's face. Why did you make me kill you?
Because he goes, you don't forget your husband's the one that fucked you, not me.
He's still mad. He's furious with him. But and he's furious with him because he made Tony feel. That's what the ultimate crime that Pussy committed was. He made Tony have these feelings.
But shouldn't he be thankful for pussy? Because it's good to have feelings.
That's not the way Tony operates. No, because you know what? Don't forget, Tony,
Yes.
his feelings are not good. Not good. There's a lot of trauma. And it's a lot easier to bottle those up. Lock them in. Have you ever seen that movie Indian in the Cupboard? He wants to leave them locked up in the cupboard. No talking Indian toy.
That poor little man.
Leave him in the cupboard forever.
Tony's got a little Indian guy in him.
Yeah, he does.
He's going,
Yeah, he
let
does.
me out. I want to emote. Please, Mr. Tony.
It's Hank Azaria inside Tony.
Thank you. Please cry again.
Hank Azaria's like, I didn't mean not to buy it. I didn't mean not to buy it.
It was a different time.
It's a different. No, I won't do it anymore.
Yeah, wow, that's a good point. Also, though, I will say I am Team Tony for smashing her shit up. She fucking lied. Buying a new Cadillac, lying about the dog. Fuck you, Angie.
I do like that you would fit into the Soprano crew well. Because on the show, you will take things at a very surface level, and that's how they operate.
Yes.
They don't like to go deep.
Yeah.
You're sitting there going like, you don't like go, what is this really about? You prefer, you did the wrong thing, you got to pay.
Yeah, but also I do like to go deep, and I feel like if I was in the Sopranos crew, I would be good at making them feel things and going, are you really mad at this, or are you mad at yourself?
With all the money that Tony likes to pay, all the things that Tony likes to buy, the house, the everything, the cars.
Yes.
Why do you think he is so reluctant to give
Money to
Columbia
Columbia.
University money?
Because that is someone shaking him down, and he doesn't get shook, he shakes.
Yeah. Isn't it interesting to see the comparison made between the organized university system and the mafia?
Yeah,
It's
the organized
the same.
universities, they're the criminals.
Well, so is the mafia.
No, the mafia is straight up. You know what you're getting into. It's a fucking Columbia. They were disingenuous. They were snakes. They were, swooning, whining, and dining. The
Remember
mafia, you know what you're getting into.
Remember when he told Matthew Bevilacqua, he's like, we're not going to kill you. Enjoy this beverage. And then real quick,
you know what you're getting into with the mafia.
I mean, it was a literal lie to his face right before they killed him.
It was a white lie.
No, you're right. You're right.
Like a,
And also, like, if you believed that, I got a bridge
that's
to sell
on you.
Yeah,
really.
No, you're right.
Oh my God.
You're
Come
right.
on.
You're right.
Grow up, Bevilacqua. You want to be in the mafia so bad, fucking know a thing or two.
Well, he's not really gonna have the opportunity to grow up at this point.
No.
Passed on.
Yeah. He's going up to that witness protection program in the sky.
Let's be honest. He's clearly in hell.
Bevilacqua?
Definitely. He shot Christopher.
That's a mortal sin.
You forgot.
Yeah,
you forgot.
I totally forgot. Yes.
You don't.
He's in hell.
You don't shoot a Moltisanti.
No. He's in hell with fucking pussy for ratting.
So, this episode has one of my favorite. There's my favorite line in the whole series, and my favorite single joke in the whole series is in an episode coming up. It's not in this episode, but we'll get to it on this show. But one of the most infamous, famous, favorite scenes of Sopranos fans, one of the most quotable moments that to this day I quote. You got a bee on your hat. When Dr. Kennedy is getting backed up on the golf course into the water. And I'm telling you now that you know, Ian, now that you're one of us, now that you're part of the family, any Sopranos fan, you got a bee on your head.
Yes.
And he walks here's it's just this beautiful scene. So Junior, he loves Dr. Kennedy. Dr. Kennedy.
JFK.
Right. Tony says, no, let's get a second opinion. Dr. Kennedy's insulted. He insulted his ego. Tony, you'd think could relate to that, but doesn't want to hear it.
No.
He brings him the gift on the golf course. Dr. Kennedy, no, guys, it's okay. It's all right. No problem. It's a problem. It's a problem.
It's a problem because you got a fucking bee in your hat.
You got a bee on your head. Yeah, Furio. You go stupid at fucking game.
Yeah. The more I watch the show, the more Furio and Carmela start to look alike.
Well, that's the they both have very strong Italian features.
And I love it.
Yeah. So, and Furio's a beautiful man.
Yes.
You know,
That
Carmela's a beautiful
hair,
woman.
My God.
Motto.
Salud.
Salute. So, but he backs him up, and there's this one beautiful moment, and this is like the moment of we know who's in charge here. And it's a single foot going into the water. When that doctor's shoe goes into the water and into the mud, and Tony and Furio are just standing there looking at him like, yeah, we did that on purpose.
Yep.
And Dr. Kennedy, oh, come on, but he can't do anything about it.
Nope.
That's when you know exactly who's in charge. And then you got a bee on your hat and slaps it into the water.
Amazing.
And it really is. It really goes back to like, not even high school. It goes back to like 6th grade, 5th grade. When the bully's picking on you. Ian, give me $1. And your friends come up to you and go, is everything okay? And you're like, everything's fine. I was gonna give him $1. Like, we're friends. We're friends. And guess what happens?
What? Well, I'll tell you what happened in my situation.
What happened?
Well, I didn't have a father, so the construction workers building a new bathroom in our house gave me advice on how to deal with bullies and told me to punch one in the back of the head when he wasn't looking, so I did and ran behind the gym teacher at recess.
It's probably the right move.
Yeah. And then you know what?
What?
We became friends.
Immediately after punching him in the back of the head, or a while later?
It took a little while. He was black, and the school thought it was racial, and it wasn't.
No, you were just a pussy.
I was not a pussy. I stood up for myself.
You punched him in the back of the head. He couldn't have possibly been looking.
Well, I was listening to what the construction worker said. I didn't. If he had said punch him in the face to face, I'd have done that. But he said in the back of the head.
Oh, I see. So you're just following the advice.
Yes, he said his little thing. I let him walk away. And then I got the last laugh because I had a running start to punch this boy in the back of the head. And also with the swing of the punch, that got me the head start running to hide behind the gym teacher.
Smart. Very, very smart. Very, very smart.
But
yeah,
we hashed it out in the guidance counselor's office. Wasn't a racial issue. No. This kid's a fucking prick.
Yeah.
Took up for myself. Then we go on a Florida trip, and he was a prick, so he didn't have many friends. And, I said, hey, what had to be done had to be done. He said, all right, yeah. And we ended up hanging out, being friends. Went to the same high school together.
Salud.
He was a dick, but he wasn't a dick to me.
Nice.
It was awesome. Hey, shout out. Not going to say your name, but I think about you often.
I know his name.
What?
Commendatore. So, what happens is that Junior gets the surgery. Dr. Kennedy goes right back to work.
Yep.
Answers calls again, and you got a bee on your hat.
Mr. Corrado, Mr. Soprano, how are you? Hey.
Oh, and Tony's just got that look like, we know who's in charge here.
Yep.
Hope you enjoyed med school.
Yeah.
I'm the motherfucking fucking one.
Yeah, sometimes you got a bee in your hand and you got to get it off.
And of course, before we leave this episode, poor Georgie again. Georgie, who works at the Bada Bing. He just wants
this fucking guy.
He wants to bring a fun toy to the office.
Jesus Christ.
And you remember at the time, Big Mouth Billy Bass was a hot item. It's the early 2000s.
That was hilarious.
We got to get one for the desk, by the way. We need a Big Mouth Billy
Maron!
Bass. Maron!
If you're watching, send us a Big Mouth Billy Bass.
Yeah, we need one.
Send it to the Comedy Cellar. I'll pick it up. We'll bring it in. And we're going to Billy Big Bass it up.
We need it. We need it right now.
We do.
Take me to the river.
It is so funny how stupid these fucking Italians are. They play this and they're like, hey, did you hilarious?
And then,
it is such a dumb fucking thing. It bridges the gap between Christopher and Paulie and makes them friends again.
It does.
Oh, you sniffed my girlfriend's underwear? Take me to the river. All is forgiven.
Look at this.
Yeah.
And Christopher's like, I got to admit.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. He's a bass that sings.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not real, but it's singing to us.
Could you imagine a world where you catch a bass, you put it on the wall, and the fucking thing sings?
But of course, we don't know, or they don't know, we know about Tony's dreams, and he ends up almost beating Georgie to death with a Big Mouth Billy Bass.
And then it comes back for Christmas. and he's got to act like everything's all right.
We're not at Christmas yet. I know you're excited.
Oh, yeah. When's Christmas?
Christmas is, I think, soon. Soon.
Okay.
But first,
yes,
we have to get to episode 8.
Yes. The name?
Yes.
He is risen.
By the way, before we get to episode 8, episode 7, something I wanted to point out about Carmela's therapist.
Mm-hmm.
And this I only really started to put together after I watched it a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting to me that this therapist so directly points out the immorality of what is going on with Carmela.
His opinion.
Melfi never has done anything like that. Never. And it's almost like the opinion of the therapist that Carmela goes to. We watch that and we go, yeah, that's the normal thing. Any therapist would do that. Melfi is not only has Melfi never come close, but she's defended not doing it.
Wow. You see, I was wondering, because later there's a session that Tony and Melfi have.
Wow. Hey, enough said. But I mean, doesn't that, you sit there and you go, oh.
Well, because Melfi,
Melfi is as flawed. That's, to me, we're pointing out that Melfi is one, even though she is the moral compass among these characters, she is still just as flawed as all of them, because she is also lying to herself about her ethical responsibility.
No, I would argue that Melfi is doing the Lord's work, because no matter who it is, they need help too. And Melfi knows if she doesn't help Tony, she's going to let this guy run wild, because no one else is going to help and support him. And that's why they have psychologists in prison. These guys need help.
Here's the hard reality, Ian.
What?
Melfi finds Tony's power and his vibe intoxicating.
How could you not?
And she doesn't want him to leave. And we found that out in the Employee of the Month episode. She wants Tony by her side, and she is looking past the immorality of what he's doing. She wants Tony in her life.
Then why didn't she have Tony beat the shit out of this guy?
Because
she's moral.
No, well, first of all, there's a whole spectrum of morality. It's not just moral or immoral. There is a morality to her about the fact that she won't sick Tony, the dog, the Rottweiler, on the Employee of the Month. But there's an immorality to the fact that she does not handle Tony remotely similarly to the way this other therapist handles Carmela. And I believe most therapists who are good therapists would handle this thing the way Carmela's therapist handled it.
Yeah, but it's like, okay, cool. Guys in the mafia, fucking prisoners, bad people, they need therapists that look past certain things without judgment to get to the root to help this person through. And that's what Melfi does. Yeah, what? You go to a therapist and the therapist sees bad behavior and goes, oh, you're a bad person. I can't do this. You got to fucking pick and choose your battles with this.
But we are privy to Melfi's conversations outside of the office. And we see
can you imagine how hard that is for Melfi? Because, yeah, she could leave and leave him in the dust, but she doesn't. She's got everyone in her life
You
telling
love
her
your
to.
Italian women.
I do. I do. Did you not read my shirt last week?
Italians rule.
Italians rule. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just saying that we've seen her conversations outside of the office, and she continues to justify his behaviors.
Well, I mean, yeah, because everyone's trying to tear her down.
Because she's wrong.
She's right. She's helping someone that needs help. She took an oath.
Is she helping him?
She's getting him to dig deeper. She's trying to well, a thing of help comes up later that I had a question about.
Well, we'll get there. So
on whether or not she is a good therapist.
All right, well, we'll get there.
Okay.
Episode 8 is He Is Risen.
Melfi's great. Go ahead.
Which is so hilarious because Janice's boyfriend, Aaron, is about as great. The narcoleptic born-again Christian is about as great as any character could possibly be.
Knockoff John C. Reilly?
Have you heard that? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you heard the good news? What's that?
Dude, all right. You just said a word that I don't know if from here on out, that to me is going to be a slur, and I don't know if we should say it or maybe beep it out, the J word.
What did I say? Born Again.
No. Who's bringing him around?
You don't like Janice.
I don't want to hear that word. I do not like her. She is a fucking pig.
But you love Italian women.
You're right.
What's wrong? What really? Can you just tell how manipulative?
Janice is a manipulative fucking pig, and she's a disgusting bitch. And the shit she pulls and the way she fucking sneaks around and manipulates is gross, disgusting, and gives Italians a bad name.
You don't think that the mafia characters do anything similar to that?
No, they give Italians a good name because they're protectors. They're fun. They
Providers.
They
earners.
They earn. What's Janice earn? Except a fucking disability check.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what she earns. A beat down from a Russian mafia.
Yeah, she earns Tony some
Agita.
Yeah, that's a word that was thrown around my house a lot growing up. You giving me agita. All the time I heard agita. Should have been my fucking nickname.
Well, a couple of things are going down here in this episode. First of all, the sparks are flying. Meadow, Jackie, oh my God. Talk about a match made in heaven. And I think it brings us a little closer to your theory. A little closer to the theory that you walked in with, which is maybe Jackie is going to be the new Commandatore. Maybe he's going to be the new second in command.
Can I tell you, I'm having a difficult time right now because I know how things end because I saw the
You had to jump ahead.
Season. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's get back to that place before you saw the season finale.
Bring me back to the place because,
okay, you know. Let's talk about what we were talking about just last week.
Yes.
When you said that you thought Jackie may be next in line. Maybe there's going to be some kind of rivalry between him and Christopher. And let's talk about the fact that, like, okay, you know, Meadow and Jackie do come from the same background. Jackie Jr., of course, Jackie Sr., one of Tony's great friends of all time.
In a perfect world, they would be together. It gives Rosalie pride. You know,
and you love Rosalie.
I love Rosalie. Jemana God. You know. Oh, I love her.
She really is great.
She's great.
And she's an alpha woman.
Such a sweetheart. Yeah. Yes, I love it. Mm-hmm. And the way Ralphie is running around on her is just disgusting.
You don't like that?
No. Ralphie is Sill's favorite quote from The Godfather. Just when I get out, he pulls me back in.
So are you still, as you're looking at Ralphie here, and this is where Ralphie starts to get very disrespectful towards Tony, this is where he turns down the drink with Tony.
Yep.
Which is obviously coming off of Tony hitting him.
Yes.
He's a made guy. Like, he does have a beef there. Where does Ralphie rank for you in comparison to Richie Aprile?
Well, Richie has, I think I've said this before, but Richie is evil off the bat. You see it in his eyes. Right, yeah, you did mention that. You see it in the hair. You see it in that dead-eyed look, the way he just acts and behaves like a true blue psychopath. Mm-hmm. Ralphie is more of a sociopath in terms that he's endearing, he's fun, and then he's got this side to him. You know, and it's just so tricky to deal with him because he behaves in a way that's abhorrent and angers me. But then he like does something where I'm like, this guy.
Yeah.
So much so I'm thinking about changing the name of my cat from Beans to Ralphie.
Wow. So you really are. You really do get pulled back in.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. Yep. I don't know that I would do that. But okay. So
well, the Jackie thing. On paper, pie in the sky, best.
Well, how did you feel? I mean, we'll take you. How did you feel when Jackie gave Meadow ecstasy? E was very, very big in the early 2000s. Again, it brings us back there.
I was so worried he was going to date rape her, and that was going to make me fly off the handle.
So when he just took a peek down the shirt,
still wrong. That's when. First of all, Jackie, I try to give him the benefit of the doubt. His father just died. He's, in this situation. He wants to be in this world. But
well, his uncle just died. His father died a little while ago.
Right, but his father still died.
Yeah.
His fucking wait, who was his uncle?
His uncle was Richie Aprile.
Right. Yes. Richie just died. His dad died. He's going through a lot. All these changes. I feel for the guy.
Maybe he doesn't have a construction worker to give him advice.
No.
God forbid.
God forbid. Maybe Rosalie's got to get some work done to the house, huh?
Right. Yeah, because
So-
he's got Ralphie as a male
and then
in the house.
I kind of like this whole Ralphie Jackie dynamic. Like when Jackie's like, "Hey, I need a gun," he goes, "Okay," and he's making the pasta, and he's like, "Okay, here you go." Now the secret of the sauce, that's great. That's the kind of stepdad I wish I had.
Well, do you? Okay, so when he gave Meadow ecstasy, did you feel protective because of Tony,
Yes.
or was it like
I
kids
felt
will be
protective
kids?
because of Tony. I felt protective because of Meadow. I felt protective because these people are my family, and I don't want anyone fucking with them.
But what about when Meadow wrecks Jackie's car and Jackie seems really concerned for Meadow?
I thought he maybe turned the page.
Yeah.
I thought maybe he had legit feelings for her. He's recognizing, maybe thinking ahead, which may be a little selfish, but recognizing, you know, like, wow, my father could be Tony Soprano. Look at this family I could be a part of. We've grown up together. You know, this would be a wonderful joining of two great things.
Yeah, no.
Maybe Meadow is the thing that gets Jackie's head screwed on tight.
Yeah, and I also I think in that moment I sensed realness from Jackie. I sensed that like his instinct was to go into protection mode.
It was disgusting that he snuck a peek, and I'm just glad though that he stopped there, because if he had done something to Meadow, I'd have to take a walk around the block.
I'm glad. I know you would have. You protect, you earn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm an earner.
Now,
I mean, do we? What do you think I get these for? Huh?
What about Johnny Sack getting involved and kind of trying to mentor between Ralphie and Tony? Because obviously things are tense. And by the way, like when I'm watching, the fact that Tony is involved now with Jackie, not only does he want the best for Jackie because of Jackie Sr., but now Jackie Jr. is getting involved with Meadow. Tony wants the best for Jackie Jr., but Ralphie's going to interfere with that. Tony wouldn't want Jackie Jr. to have a gun.
No.
But Ralphie is going to give him one. So it's like that's going to only, I think, create more tension between Ralphie and Tony. They're just on such diametrically opposing sides of the same thing. But Johnny Sack trying to mentor the two of them. I mean,
Is he trying to mentor, or is he being a consigliere?
I mean, I think he's doing what's best for business. I don't think
Right.
that you want to believe that, you know, the mafia wants to work together and
Being a pal.
No, I think he wants to make sure the Esplanade goes off without a hitch.
Right.
And so he wants these two working together because more money for everybody if those two are getting along. He doesn't want the problem to arise right now.
Yeah.
That's where I think Johnny Sack stands. So in this moment, you know, I can't say that I'm super worried, but how did you feel? Do you think that Tony handled it right? When Johnny Sack does get involved, he organizes a sit down, he talks to Ralphie, talks some sense into him, talks to Tony. We think he's talked some sense into him, but Ralphie comes over, apologizes, talks about being on coke, talks about getting off coke, does this whole thing, mea culpa. And Tony just kind of barely acknowledges it, doesn't apologize for anything, and lets Ralphie, doesn't even invite him to sit down. Do you think Tony was being too petty?
Ralph sits down, and then he goes, "How about that drink?" And Tony gets up and walks away.
That's right.
I mean, I told you before, second opinions, I'm really having a hard time with Tony. He's
being
just
emotional.
showing some things that I don't like. He's incredibly petty,
Yeah.
which I don't like. You know, he's acting like a baby in certain scenarios. And look, the guy's got a lot on his mind. You know, the guy's running an empire.
But he's the boss, though. The job of the boss is to have a lot on your mind and handle it properly. You want to talk about how great Jackie Sr. was?
Yeah.
Everybody loved Jackie Sr.
I mean, Tony, the way he handles things is kind of, you know, very childish. And I did not agree with that at all. I think Ralphie came to him in respect, was trying to do the right thing. The least Tony could have done was say, all right, let's have that drink.
Now
You're a guy working for my crew. You're one of my top earners. You know, what?
he's still making him pay for it.
Yeah, like, get over it,
Right,
dude.
right.
Fucking, you know.
Well, he's left without a choice because Gigi gets constipated and has a heart attack on the toilet.
All right. First of all, okay, I love Gigi, but I just got to say, this show obviously is amazing, but there are a lot of things. I mean, Tony's got a horseshoe up his ass with some of these situations.
Right.
And it's kind of getting to me a little bit.
Yeah, but don't you
Like,
think...
he's got to get rid of Richie Aprile. What do I do? What do you know? Janice kills him. Oh, Olivia might rat on me. What do you know? She dies.
Well,
Ralphie should be a captain. What am I going to do? Oh, Gigi magically shits himself and dies.
First of all...
Well, here we go.
The fact that you're saying that The Sopranos... Olivia actually died. The actress died. They didn't have a choice.
Right. Okay, all right. You get a pass on that.
I thank you for giving me a pass.
But you got a pass. But 1 out of 3, and there's a couple other instances.
But don't you think that there's something beautiful about the idea that, like, sometimes the deaths will be extremely dramatic and like, oh my God, I think somebody's gonna get whacked, and other times it'll just be the air going out of a balloon. You're like, what? We've just been following this character for 2.5 seasons.
Yeah.
And they just have him die shitting himself on a toilet, because sometimes people die shitting themselves on a toilet.
Elvis.
Exactly.
The king.
Exactly. If they were making an Elvis movie, and the end of the movie was like, if they were making a movie about like the biggest rock star,
play him.
Yeah, exactly. But if they're making a movie about the biggest rock star of all time, and in the end he just dies with a ham sandwich on the toilet, wouldn't you be like, that was a bullshit ending for the movie? But that's life.
That's life.
And that was the life of Gigi.
Yeah.
He died on the toilet.
Yeah.
And then he sits there. And Ralphie gets made capo.
But again, like, look, man, it just goes back to how convenient.
But how is it handled?
What do you know?
How is it handled, though?
Well, Ralphie wants to know if it's merit or if it's because Gigi died.
And what does Tony say?
He's like, think what you think.
Exactly. Tony is still like that would be okay. A lot of shows. You're right. Okay, but I think
no. Sorry to interrupt.
Go
Okay.
ahead.
Also, along with that point of like, what do you know? Gigi died, and it just so happens that the fucking these guys are beating people up in public. People are disappearing left and right. Fucking, that poor stripper dies. Nobody's investigating this. Nobody's calling the police when fucking Paulie beats up a psychic and fucking throws his shit around. Like, they just live in this insular world of, like, no consequence.
Well, when the stripper dies, who's going to call the police?
Her family.
Who's her family?
Her fucking parents or someone.
She was
friends? You don't think she's got friends?
No, I think she was working for Syl and staying in Ralphie's house for 3 days. I think she was out there lost in the world. She's one of these lost souls that were sucked in by this world.
You don't think any of the other strippers would go, oh my God?
No!
Or like a high school friend on Facebook? Like, she hasn't posted in a while.
Bro, it's early 2000s, bro.
Fuck. Right. Damn it. Right.
And no,
you got me there,
I don't think
Robert.
the other strippers I think the other strippers are thoughtless and careless about each other. That's what I think about all the other strippers, And look, you're right. If somebody gets assaulted by the mob, there are instances where there will be one person that steps up and goes, "Hey, this isn't right." And you know what happens to that person? He gets his arm broken. People know.
Yeah, you're right.
And I believe that the sort of lazy, oh, how convenient approach would be like, okay, Ralphie, you're capo now, and that's how we ease the tension. But instead, we see that this door has been opened for Tony, okay? The decision has been made so easy. You can just put Christopher in Gigi's spot, ease all the tension, and everything will be fine. And instead of taking advantage of the horseshoe that's up Tony's ass, he doesn't take advantage of it. Instead, because of him, because of Tony, the tension still remains because he will not give Christopher the satisfaction of saying, I'm happy you're here.
You mean Ralphie?
Ralphie.
Yes.
It's exactly what I meant. Yeah.
Yes.
He won't give Ralphie the satisfaction of saying, I'm happy you're here.
Right.
So, in a way, it's like the horseshoe that's up Tony's ass is acknowledged.
How?
Well, it comes up. There are people who feel that Tony is lucky, right? And the people under Tony feel that he's lucky. But Tony is such a depressive that not only does he not see all the luck that's in front of him, but he feels like He's got a dark cloud over his head. That's part of the dynamics of the whole character, I think.
Right. You're
you know,
right. Yeah.
that's the way I look at it. And maybe I'm, justifying because I'm so in love with the show that
Who would do that?
I don't know.
That's weird. I don't know why anyone would do that. These are bad people, right?
Now, after Ralphie gets made capo, and Tony, won't acknowledge that it's merit based, he goes home and makes sure that Meadow knows how much he loves him. Why?
Because of the stripper.
Yeah.
I
think that, that's making it real clear that Tony saw Meadows, even though Tracy is walking around topless, just trying to get Tony's attention with braces on. He saw Meadow. He saw what can happen. I think that that's why he reacted the way he reacted with Tracy. Well, before we move on to episode 9.
Well, also, I just want to say, man, we're really seeing Paulie take a turn.
Tell me.
He's just becoming, jealous, insecure, angry, a fucking dick, feeling like his time is slipping, and it's really bothersome.
But it's also like, what does Paulie want? Like, what is it that you want? I don't get the sense that Paulie or Sil is very clear about it. Sil is not insecure.
No.
Sil doesn't want to be the boss. I don't think he ever wanted to be the boss, but I don't think that Paulie wants to be the boss.
Yeah, but isn't Paulie, shouldn't he be grateful that he's Tony's right-hand man, his confidant? He's got he's living on Easy Street. Yeah, all he got to do is fucking take care of Tony, make sure his Gumar's kid has presents.
But it's never enough. But it's never enough for Paulie. He sees what others have.
He can take care of his mom.
Well, you know what? Well, I'm not so sure about that. But the problem with Paulie is that he spends a lot of time looking at other people's plates instead of looking at how much he's got to eat.
I can relate to that because I used to spend a lot of time on Instagram looking at other people's success and then hating myself. And the best thing I ever did was I muted a lot of people.
And then you started taking photos of Cash, using it as a telephone to be like, hi, haters.
Yeah, I did.
And that's your life. That's the life of Ian.
Yeah.
So before
I started to not want what others had, but be grateful for what I have and don't have.
That's right.
Gratitude is the attitude that you really need to.
Look, everybody wants to be the boss, but do you want the stress that Tony has?
No, I want to be the boss of myself.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Speaking of the stress that Tony has, we meet a new character on this episode, of course, Gloria Trillo. Gloria Trillo sitting, and you know it's trouble. The minute Tony walks in and he sees Gloria in Melfi's waiting room, you know it's trouble.
He gets that little look.
Oh, he does, and you know that look, and it doesn't take. You see how Gloria's responding to him, and it doesn't take long for Tony to show up to a Mercedes dealership, and before you know it, they're in the Stugats.
Yep. Giving it a little marinara.
Now, how did you feel the minute when you first met Gloria? Now, this is going to be complicated for you because Gloria Trillo is obviously an Italian woman.
Yes.
However, this Italian woman is disrupting the family life that Carmela has put forward.
Look, you meet someone in a fucking psych office, that's a bad idea. You don't do that. You don't shit where you fucking get your mental health.
Okay, well, tell me this. This is more because that's obvious.
But Tony likes the fact that she pushes him, that she doesn't take his shit, that she's kind of impressed with his little life,
Yeah, I mean that's because she's like his mother.
Well, we see that later.
Yeah, I mean I saw it real quick.
I did not.
So,
and when he did say it, I had to rewind and watch a couple times because it was a
well.
moment.
What do you think of this? This is what I found interesting. Melfi goes out into the waiting room, sees the two of them together. She knows Tony very well. She knows Gloria very well. She knows 100% what's going to happen. When she talks to Gloria over the phone, she hears what she describes later as a man's voice. She knows exactly it's Tony. Do you think she's jealous?
Whoa.
Because I do. I think Melfi's real, and I don't think Melfi would ever admit this to herself, but I think Melfi's real problem with this relationship is that if it's Tony and Carmela, they're a married couple, that's fine. If it's one of these anonymous girlfriends that Tony has, it doesn't even, whatever. But now Tony has brought his sexuality to Melfi's office.
She reminds me of you. Here's the thing, though. Is that why? Well, this is a later episode. But
so then should we save it?
I mean,
let's just talk about that. Let's talk about that moment when she calls, when she sees them together in the office, and she
knows.
She's got
how long has she been giving him therapy? She knows his voice. She's got a distinct voice.
And she knows how Gloria is with men, and she knows how Tony is with women. She knows. When you see it in her face in the office, when you see it in her face when she's on the phone, there's a disapproval. Do you think she's disapproving because she's worried about her patients?
That's what I thought.
No. I don't think so. I don't think so. I think she's disapproving in a selfish way.
Is that why she doesn't step in and say, you got to put the kibosh on this? What are you doing? I know what's going on. She just lets them find out on their own. Is that good therapy, or is that something that you shouldn't do?
I mean, I can't speak to the good therapy. I'm no therapist. I'm not a doctor. I don't know. But maybe there's an element of sadomasochism to it. I want to see how this pans out. I want the details on it. Maybe there's an element of, I know this is going to turn out poorly, and I want it to turn out poorly because I have toxic feelings about it, because I have feelings about Tony that I have not dealt with, you know. But I think it's there. Yeah. I think it's there. You agree, right? But yeah, I know you love Jennifer. I know you love some Jennifer Melfi, but she has feelings for Tony. She is watching Romance Blue.
I didn't think that she was jealous.
I think that there's something about her.
I thought she was trying to be ethical and not get involved in two patients' business.
I think I mean, you know the feeling when you don't even want to admit it, but you're like, well, Gloria's not better than me.
We really see Gloria. I mean, this kitten has claws. When Melfi's like pushes her a little.
Yeah.
Well, Gloria flips.
Yeah. Let's get into episode 9 real quick. Let's get in.
Okay.
While we still got time, to the Telltale Musadel.
Yes.
Just maybe the greatest title. The Telltale Musadel.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, because, you know, it's the
That's...
Go ahead.
Michael Imperielli wrote it.
Did he?
Yeah.
Great writer.
Yeah.
Great writer, Christopher.
Yes.
Christopher, get back to your writing.
Christopher.
So, of course, it's called the Telltale Musadel because AJ breaks into the school with his friends. I believe one of those friends, by the way, is played by Lady Gaga.
What?
Yes, one of the girls that he breaks into school with, and they're in the pool.
Nuh-uh.
One of the actresses, I believe, is Lady Gaga. Stephanie Germanotta, I believe, plays one of the girls. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
I believe. I've heard that. I don't know which one.
It's also interesting how stupid fucking these kids got to be to think that they got DNA from P and the turnover happens in a day.
Well, that's not yet. That's when they steal tests after this.
Yes.
This is the Telltale Musadel.
Yes.
Because the Musadel is what's on top of the pizza.
That's right.
And the police go to the pizza parlor after they find the slice. The pizza guy rats out AJ.
Yes.
And
there
AJ...
can only be one man who buys this slice of pizza. That's a custom pie. Yeah.
And Tony and Carmela are furious. They bring him to school, and we see what's going on in AJ's life. This is what I found interesting about this. We go to the school. The school doesn't punish Anthony Jr.
Crazy.
Because they want him on the football team. Which I think is probably more common than we realize.
Totally. Or are they afraid of retribution for dealing with the Sopranos?
I don't think so, because I think that the Sopranos are coming across like they want him punished. But also, I think Tony wants him to play football as well.
Right.
That's why Carmela is sort of like, what? And Tony's like, yeah, no, I think that's right.
I think Tony sees football as a way out of this lifestyle where AJ could be a football player and branch out on his own.
And I also think that it's just that male thing where you want your kid to be good at sports, your son. And it's also the only time I think that Tony sees AJ as a man.
Right.
He's got weak masculinity everywhere except the football field.
Yep.
But then AJ gets home, and they're like, "Well, you're gonna do chores." And I mean, I just love this scene so much when they're like, "You're gonna clean the gutters," and he's like, "What gutters?" And he's like, "The things over the house." And AJ's like, "I don't know what you're talking about." And they're like, "Yes, you do." And AJ, I mean, he's just I love the way AJ is portrayed, where he goes, "No, I don't."
AJ is the silent assassin of amazing in this show.
No.
Just every one of his reactions is so funny. Like when they're in the dorm and he's like, "Oh, I know what Dad said. AJ, leave. You're always making me go away."
So, yeah. When they're talking about, what's his face? But... yeah, so here's what I started thinking about is like AJ's a loser, like he's a spoiled kid, he sucks, but
He doesn't suck.
So okay, I think you're gonna like this theory. That is the reason. How much of AJ's shittiness is AJ's fault,
Mm-hmm.
and how much of it is the fault of the fact that he lives in a world that is consequence free. Like if you live in a world where your school is not, you're acting crazy. You threw a desk in the pool. You're breaking the trophy case, and the school's like, you're not punished. And then you get home, you don't even know what a gutter is. You know you're not going to actually have to do chores. Like, how do you grow up with any sort of system of discipline?
It's the affluenza defense.
Yeah.
Do you remember that story that Ethan Couch killed 4 people drunk driving at like 16, and the judge was like, his family's so rich he never understood consequences. It's not his fault. It's the fact that he's wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like AJ.
Yeah, AJ was not being raised.
No.
No.
And because they're Italian, it's affluenza.
Yeah. I at that point I go, it's not AJ's fault that AJ's a loser right now.
Right. Well, he's just not motivated because he's never had to be.
Exactly. I don't think that. I don't think it's his fault that he's a loser.
And he's acting out because he wants attention, because he doesn't care if it's good or bad. It's just a form of attention that he's not getting from his family.
Yes. Now, Carmela, even though she was having some trouble with Tony, Tony did realize he's got to donate to the school.
Yep.
And what finally puts a smile back on Carmela's face? A nice, beautiful ring for her birthday.
Yes.
A nice piece of jewelry, and everything is okay again.
Yep.
Isn't that nice? Now, Carmela is a little concerned with the budding relationship between Meadow and Jackie Jr. I think that's because of, the rough patch that she was just coming off of with Tony.
Mm-hmm.
But it leads to my favorite joke maybe on the whole series. I mean, every time I watch this episode, I just, I'm watching this and I just go, bah!
What is it? Oh, speaking of your my chuckle has now turned into Pauly. It is. Every time around the apartment, Carm says something, I go, or I do a little thing.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, what made me chuckle was when Tony goes, Carmela goes, I don't know, Tony. And then Tony goes, don't tell me you were more comfortable when she was dating Jamal Ginsburg. And I'm just like, you son of a bitch. Jamal Ginsburg. like what a scumbag, Tony. But what a funny, I mean, come on.
Tony sucks.
He sucks. But just the idea that that's on the tip of his tongue.
Yeah. But it's so funny how he comes up with this stuff so quick. He's the best. But he's such a fucking, you want to talk about losers. I mean, Jesus Christ.
Well, of course, the relationship between Gloria and Tony continues to progress. Tony has sex with her in the reptile house at the zoo.
Which, how fitting. He's a snake.
Exactly.
He's a snake.
He's a snake.
The scorpion's out. He's a snake.
But how great is it?
He was a frog and now he's a snake.
That Tony, he's not a scorpion still.
No. I will never admit that.
How great is it that Tony's in such a good mood? He tries to give Melfi a cash bonus.
Yeah, cash bonus.
Melfi's like, I can't, no.
Again, it's his little indulgence system. His little cash will make everything all right. Let me just break it off and break myself a peace of mind.
But do you get worried when we find out with Gloria and Malfi in the office together? When Malfi goes, you know that in your last relationship you
tried to
attempted
commit
suicide after it fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh boy. Oh boy. And we know, I mean, look, we know that Tony is attracted to damaged women because of his mother, in my opinion.
Yes.
We also know that he doesn't react well to mental illness. We saw that with his last girlfriend. Remember? We saw that with the Russian girl.
Right.
That's me.
Oh, that's you.
Yeah, don't worry about that.
There you
I got a call.
Huh?
I don't got to take that, though.
Oh,
no, we
good.
saw that with his last girlfriend. We saw that with the Russian. He got so upset when she tried to commit suicide. I'm like, Tony, we're starting to see, and that's what's so beautiful about season 3. We're starting to get to know these characters a little bit more. We're starting to go beyond a slice of life. We're starting to see cycles develop.
Yes, but also, I must say, do you think that it's because Tony is such a dynamic, wonderful, charming man? Or is it because the Carm theory of they get used to that lifestyle and they don't want it to go away? Or is it a trauma bond of like, they're getting, I don't know if Tony's outright abusing them. He doesn't seem like the kind that would abuse someone.
I don't think that Tony is abusive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that Tony blinds himself to the dependency that is developing. I think Tony gets off on these attractive, interesting, fun women developing this dependency on him. He likes people being dependent on him.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gets frustrated when he can't just throw them away because he's allowed them to become dependent. I think that if you are a responsible person and you feel somebody becoming dependent on you, it is kind of up to you
to say,
you can't, because this is gonna.
But sometimes with mentally ill people, when you do try to do the healthy thing, they can't take it and they react the way they do.
Yes, but it's worse to allow that to keep going and going and
But I'm saying the first time you see it, to go, hey, yada, yada, yada. And then when that comes up, you can really be like a hostage to
That's true. That's true.
Situation.
That's true. But Tony is able to just.
Tony is, I admire his whole, like, I don't need this shit.
Right.
And he just fucking leaves.
That's what I mean.
Wow.
Tony can just walk away. And I think it's easier to just walk away if he nips it in the bud, but he will never.
No.
He will never do that.
No.
We also see, Tony is starting this conversation with Jackie. He doesn't want Jamal Ginsburg to come back.
No.
So
no Jamal Ginsburg.
The Hasidic,
the Hasidic African American.
What do you call him? I don't know. The hip hop Hasidic? Is that what the Hasidic?
Oh my God.
It was
Yeah.
But I mean, Jamal Ginsburg. I think I was laughing so hard at that part. But.
When I get so famous that I have to use pseudonyms, it's going to be Jamal Ginsburg. That's what I'm going to check into hotels with.
So he sees Jackie first at the underground casino. He's like, I don't want you here anymore. And I think that that's interesting on 2 levels. For me, and again, this is something I picked up the 4th or 5th time that I watched it. I think that not only is Tony mad because he wants the best for Meadow, and not only is Tony mad because he wants the best for Jackie Sr.'s son, Jackie Jr., but I think I was getting this vibe of teacher out of school, meaning that lives are now conflicting.
Ah, yes.
And I think that there is something, because Tony's a selfish person.
Right.
And I think that there is something where Tony does not want his family life and his family life conflicting.
Right.
And when he sees Jackie Jr. at the casino where he does his business, and when he sees Jackie Jr., you can't have both. I can't see you with my daughter at Sunday dinner and at this casino.
No.
And I think that Tony is also reacting in a very angry way because these worlds are conflicting, and he separates them so well.
Totally. And also, I'm really having a problem with Jackie, because Jackie is behaving in such a fucking scumbag way of like, okay, so the Sopranos take over the snake pit or the Viper Room. What was it called?
I might have been called the Viper Room, but when Adriana gets it, she renames it the Crazy Horse.
Love that. So fucking Matouche Jackie's ex guy is used to selling X in the bathroom, gets beat up.
Love Matouche, by the way.
Love Matouche. He goes to Jackie, and Jackie goes, Christopher's an associate.
But I mean, how great is that scene of just, because we've seen on the show, like in the world of the show, we've seen what a real sit down looks like. We've seen the way the mob really does business. And then we watch Jackie Jr. do this like movie parody, like he's got his one like jerk off friend,
like Michael Corleone from The Godfather, like
and it's like, you fucking dork.
Yep.
Like you are such a nobody.
Such a wannabe nobody. And he goes, he's an associate of mine. I'll take care of it. And then he goes to see Chris, and Chris couldn't even be bothered. Jackie was buzzing of a fly to Chris.
The best is when he's like, Christopher, I think I want to have a sit down. And Christopher's like, a sit down? Like he's correcting him on the lingo. Because he's like, what are you talking about? Like you're cosplaying.
Yes.
Don't come to me with this nonsense.
Christopher doesn't even acknowledge, won't give him the time of day.
I want to ask a favor. You don't ask me.
Barely looks up. I mean, so great.
And then he fucks over Matouche. Because he still wants to protect that ego.
Yeah, and he can't say, hey, no. He still acts as if he's this fucking crime boss guy. And he's like, they said you can do it outside the club. Oh, that makes sense. Oh, cool. I got it. Great.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Don Jackie.
Yeah. Don Jackie. Oh, my God. Yeah. And then, like, Jackie's going over and they're fucking, having Carm's birthday together and these little, like giving Meadow a fucking necklace, and Tony's like, hey, all right. And then Jackie's leading a double life of being a fucking scumbag on the side.
Who do you know like that? Did I just blow your mind a little bit?
I woke up this morning, grabbed myself a shock. Things coming to my face, realizing I've been wrong.
Yeah, Tony's over here going like, this is exactly what I do.
Yeah.
Stop it, because this is a dishonorable way to live.
Damn.
And then when he's confronted, he goes, what am I, a toxic person?
Dude, he says that multiple times.
Yes.
What am I, a toxic person or something? When Artie, the ultimate cuck, wants to go and get this, like...
Artie Bucco should be Artie Cucco.
Oh, my God. You said that, buddy. Fucking this motherfucker, Armagnac? You're getting the new vodka? Are you stupid? and he fucking goes to Ralphie. Ralphie won't... God bless. See, this is why I like Ralphie. He goes, I'm not going to do it. Ralphie knows that this guy's full of shit. He does it anyway. Goes to Tony, and Tony goes, why didn't you come to me? Huh? You're my friend. What am I, a toxic person or something?
Yeah, but who did Tony also say? Like, who else was Tony's friend that he was in business with?
Yeah, Davey. That's why I'm like, is he doing a redo? Is Artie like his true friend? Or is he still making repentance for the fact that he set Vesuvio on fire?
No, he he doesn't confront. It's in one ear, out the other. This is why he's so mad at Pussy for making him feel he has he doesn't go inside at all.
I thought with Artie he was trying to be like kind of his little like indulgence thing where he uses money to forgive himself.
He wants people to say, oh, that's Tony, he's a good guy, he's a good person. But regardless of how bad he wants that, he also is always going to sting you. Even if you are halfway through the pond and you will both drown, he will sting you anyway. Because he is a scorpion.
Tony's a guy that'll take you to the other side of the pond. He'll sting you on the other side, but he's getting you across that pond.
Look, I'm going to have some Whitmans on that. We appreciate all of you for going through these episodes 7 through 9. Next week, if you want to get ahead, I'm suggesting we do something very special. Next week, we've got a very special episode. I think
Commendatory?
You got the Commendatories have been waiting for. We're going to go through episode 10, of course. Episode 11 of season 3 is Pine Barrens. We're only going to do 2 episodes next week. 2 episodes, because we're going to spend some time with Pine Barrens. So tune in for that. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure your alerts are turned on so you know every time it's a Prima Volta Leave us something in the comments if we missed something or if you don't like some of our analysis.
Yes.
Off on goal.
And again, thank you guys so much for no spoilers.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it. The amount of
Even though you're jumping ahead.
I know. I can't help it. But thank you for no spoilers. The only word that comes up in my gratitude for that is respect.
Respect.
And dude, people are coming out and yelling out commendatory at shows, and I fucking love it. People are telling me to do the hands in pictures. Can you fucking believe
That's
it?
awesome.
I'm fucking loving it,
That's
dude.
awesome.
I'm loving it. So thank you guys so much. Really appreciate it. And
Yeah, we'll see you next time for episode 10 and 11, and it will be Ian's Prima Volta.
Ciao, Bella.